This is an interview for peep-magazine. We're still at the Baltic profiling Northumbria Fine Art Show, and we bumped into another artist called Francesca, and then we're standing right in front of her kind of monolith piece. Mm-hmm. Can we have a chat about the work and maybe what's the inspiration behind this work?
So initially I looked at the work of like the feminist art movement, and I kind of gathered that the whole movement was about gathering women together to form like a group of solidarity and unity between women, to kind of make sure that the representation of women was shown within the art scene. So I took inspiration of that and made like these abstract layered drawings from women. I layered like a bunch of pictures of women together and then made it into one abstract line drawing, and then that inspired the initial sculptures that I made. I then combined those sculptures together, and then it further went into like a more abstract composition, which eventually developed into this. The painting style is inspired by the Impressionist movement because I wanted to bring movement into the work. As an inspiration for me was Yvonne Rainer, who is a famous contemporary dancer. And yeah, I think the overall meaning behind the sculpture is about bringing like a sense of excitement into the gallery and showing like an abstract representation of the unity between women.
How have you made this?
So it was made of polystyrene, wall filler, and then emulsion paints. I initially like cut the blocks of polystyrene like together, put them in 3 so that I could be transported to the Baltic, and then I carved them out with a hot knife, which was so hard to do, but we did it eventually. And then what did I do after that? And then I covered it in wall filler so that I created like this kind of rough, gritty texture, and then I painted it with just a paintbrush at first, but then I went in with a mop just to add that kind of sense of movement and excitement to it. Yeah.
Can I ask, how has your time been at Northumbria Uni? Have you had a positive experience, or how has it been being there for 3 years?
It's been so good. I handed in my last assignment yesterday and I felt kind of emotional because I was so sad for it to be over. I think studying art with the facilities that we do have at Northumbria has been so good, and just the sense of like the experiences and like the opportunities are endless. Like there's always more room to improve, and the technicians are always so helpful. So to not have that anymore, it's sad, but I'm glad that I got to have the experience at Northumbria.
Yeah, that's exactly how I was. I graduated from Northumbria a good few years ago, and when I graduated I was like, I knew what I was wanting to do, but that kind of unity within the course, chatting to lecturers about different things, you're going to miss that, and you're going to have to fill that somewhere else. Have you got, what is your plans once you've graduated? Have you got any definite plans to go into something?
Well, as a placement during third year, I worked as a studio assistant, and I think that's definitely like an environment that I like to be in. I do want to eventually start my own ceramics business, become a professional ceramicist, start my own website, all that kind of stuff. But it's early days. I'm excited to see where life might take me and stuff, but I'm still figuring a lot of stuff out, unfortunately.
Well, not unfortunately. I mean, this is the process, isn't it? Like what they say with art. It's maybe not the art; it's the process. With your work here that you've talked about, is this work connected to you in some way, or would you say it's more detached from you?
I'd say it's quite a personal, connected project that I went into. I have been surrounded by amazing women my whole life, and I wanted to like touch upon that within my art. And I'm fascinated by like contemporary abstract arts. So doing this, I've done realistic, like realism, all that kind of stuff before, and I've enjoyed it, but never as much as like abstract art. And I think for me, it just made me feel like I had complete creative freedom, and like just a sense of like love. It brought a lot of love back for what that I have for art, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I think you've already answered this, but could you kind of remind us again about what you're confronting in this work?
Just, it's kind of like, I don't know if this is the word, but kind of like a response to the feminist art movement. Like, I looked at the work of the Guerrilla Girls. They made a artwork called "Do Women Have to Be Naked to Get into the Met Museum?" because they found that, like, in the modern art section, that only 5% of women were artists, and then 85% were nudes of women. And I wanted my work to be about women, but I didn't want it to be this objectified, idealized representation. I wanted it to be something a bit more personal, something that had symbolized something else rather than just that idealized representation that has been portrayed throughout history.
Yeah, of course. Anthony Gormley said when you're painting or creating work, you are engaging in some kind of dialogue. Are you engaging with yourself? Not so much this piece, but when you're creating work, are you engaging internally with some kind of dialogue?
I'm not sure. I think when I'm making it, I feel like I actually can't think too much about it, otherwise I get too much in my head about, oh, is this good? Is this like how it should look? But I think with abstract art, the key is to kind of like let go and see where it takes you and like see where the next step is, not like being too particular and having like an internal dialogue of like, okay, I want to do this next. I feel like you just have to see what happens.
Do you believe working with your hands frees the mind?
Pardon?
Do you believe working with your hands, creating with your hands, which you've done here quite beautifully, do you believe that creating with your hands frees the mind?
Yeah, for sure. I think there's something about being in your studio and you're just creating something and it's something that you love and your mind kind of like just like quietens for a sec, like you're just doing something, you're obviously focusing on what you're making, you're focusing on like how you want it to kind of like, do you know what I mean? Like it's a distraction from everyday life, you know, the distraction from like, you know, my retail job, any extra stress in my life, do you know what I mean?
Pablo Picasso said when he's doing his paintings, they become autobiographical. Would you say this piece is autobiographical in some way? When you're creating something like this, it somehow reflects your personality, your experiences, your views on life. Yeah. And it kind of does, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I think anything that you make in art, it should be about something that, you know, like that you care about, that like is something that is attached to you. Art should be something that's like connected to you in some way. Not just because you've made it, just because you care about it and that you want to like make something to kind of put something out into the public that people can respond to.
Hi, thanks for your time.
Thank you so much.